currently working on this cool new project, and it's essentially a spark shield or an arm guard depending on what I used it for that day. It's also good for me using cosplay. Right here, this is some leather I picked up from Hobby Lobby, I think. I don't remember where I got it from, but I got some of this leather. It's suede. I don't know how many ounces it is, but I believe it's for like upholstery or something. But it was all cracked, and so it was on a discount, which is great. Everything that's on a discount is normally great. It feels incredible. Uh, like I've worked with leather once before, only one time, but it was a chrome tan and it felt artificial. This right here felt just so nice to actually work with. Though over time I hope the fold marks actually fade. And right here, what you're going to do to actually create your arm guard template is you're going to measure around your bone of your wrist and around your forearm. And once you get those two diameters, from the points you measured, you're going to go from your wrist to your forearm. Measure that, and then like lay those out as a piece of string, so that you can actually know your length around your arm. From there, you can just lay it down and cut that shape out, and you should be mostly there. And now to cut it. Once again, I was just having trouble because I was having a slight amount of trouble because this just felt so nice that I was sort of getting distracted by it while I was recording. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to align this with the bottom right corner as closely as possible so I'm not wasting much. And let's move this back into perspective. The friction between the leather and the carpet was not helping at all. So now that I've aligned it with the rightmost edge, I've got some on the top and the bottom, but I'm going to try to cut it using my pocket knife. It should work well. I mean, I'm not sure how well it will work against leather, but I mean, if it works first try, that would be great. This video I'm most likely going to have to do over multiple days. Oh wait, it doesn't. Darn it. So, this will not actually work because it is not sharp enough to cut through. However, I can always just use this marker here and here. I don't think I should use pen. It's not quite working. But I'm gonna have to do this video over multiple days because I do not have I don't have much free time having to go to school, study, get all the homework done, and then also try to make sure I'm also like part of a family because that's important. I've got two tools here that I can use. I'm just gonna use this marker because that will work. Thumbs up of approval. The other tool you saw me hold was actually it's a engraver. It's something I picked up from Menards, and it was only about like $15, but it was a good buy because it allows me to engrave on glass, wood, metal, a whole bunch of different things. Anyways, what I'm going to do is rather than making a solid line that would mark up the complete edges, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some dots and cut along those lines. Now that I've done that, I can just put the cap on that. Set this to the side. And as you can see, I've got the dotted line right here. And now let's see which type of, yeah, let's use these scissors. It was also quite interesting as I was cutting through this, the noise that the leather was making from the scissors cutting it, what sounded sort of like metal wire fraying in a way. Now that I've got that, I'm going to do this bottom corner here. And now I'm going to do this top right corner just right across so that it matches up with this other one. Let's just do this carefully. And now that it's done, that's great and fantastic. I can now, once again, this just feels extremely nice. And the edges also turned out well. It didn't fray at all, or hey, and as you can see, the arm guide. I mean, I'm having trouble holding it up to my arm, but as you can see, the arm guide worked pretty well. I actually learned this trick from another YouTuber. I'd love to do a collab with them. However, I'm not quite sure how I would do one with them. But I actually got this idea from this YouTube channel called Skilltree. So definitely check them out. And I'm up for doing a whole bunch of different collabs with different YouTubers. It's just a matter of me actually reaching out to them. I'm still not sure how to do that as a brand new YouTuber. And now to do the other one. Okay, so now that I've gotten both of the arm guards actually completed, I can now see, now that I've gotten both of these completed, I can now wait another second, and I've got these different bracers, I've got these different things that I'm going to put on either side. I'm going to put some straps across to connect these, and then I'm also going to make some buckles, because I think that'll look cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hop online and see if I can find a 3D model. Time for a fun time lapse. Right here, as you can see, the different buckles are printing in multicolored, and I'm just making a whole bunch of them really quickly. I've already made a few others before I started making this time lapse. And now for this last one. And right in here, as you can see, I'm just using some regular spray paint. I don't know how long I've had this, but after removing the cap, I'm just going to put these onto this wooden board, and I'm pretty accurate with the spray paint, so I'm not too worried about the piece of carpet behind it. But we just use that for a doormat anyways. I'm just going to do some small spritz like this. and spray paint it sort of like this. This did affect me earlier when I went to actually start sewing these things on, because it started rubbing off on my fingers, which I sort of just had to wear down, and it stopped. Okay, so I finished taking these, and I actually, as you can see, I spray painted them. Just put them here while they're finishing drying, but I've actually already gotten some spray paint on my fingers. Come on, why isn't it? Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not focusing. Anyways, finished spray painting these, and well, then I took this leather strap, and I figured, hey, why not use this to hold it so that I can adjust it as needed? And well, I personally think that once I actually get this through, I think that looks great. Plus, if I need to pull the strap more on one side, I can tighten it a lot more. Anyways, let's set these off to the side. Okay, I've laid this out. And now, just like how I've got this, it's the right size, I'm gonna now hold this up just right here. And so I will be doing 3 buckles down this. And now I actually have to figure out, using this marker, I'm going to mark out just how I marked out where to cut, and to mark out where to sew these latches on. Right there should be fine. Now I'm just going to use this type of thread. And here, I'll cut to when I've actually sewn these on. Right here was a tiny bit painful because I kept pricking myself trying to sew through leather. I am aware that there is an official leather sewing kit for this. I unfortunately have the thing of a budget where I have about $5 per product. So everything you see me do, pretty much just from using my own materials, not really using much machines, it's all just by hand. One of the reasons why these take so long to make and get out and be able to upload is that you can't really get an editor or anything. But since I don't have a sewing machine, I was just doing this all by hand. And now that I've gotten all 3 of these buckles done. So now that I finished sewing each 3 of these on, this took way too long. But as you can see, this is my first stitch, this is my second, and this is my third. Overall, there's visible difference of my progress in this. Anyways, let's just cut this off. Okay, I hate scissors that don't actually cut. Okay, that's it. There we go. Anyways, I'll set this here. So now that all three of these have been attached, I'm now going to do this. There we go. So, now that I'm downstairs, I've got all these leather straps that I've made. I've got 3 others for the corresponding arm guard. But now that I've got all 3 of these straps, I can now take my rivet gun, and yes, I'm going to rivet these. I'll also partially sew these on. I'm going to attach them sort of like this, because I had to trim down the sides of these so that they would fit right into here. Now, as I just pull this tight, there we go. I'm now going to measure this just to make sure that I make these straps the wrong. Well, I make them the right length, not the wrong length. That would be bad. But as you can see, this goes fully around my wrist. No problems there. So I can put these straps within a good, decent range. I should have brought my marker, darn it. Make one here. And one right there. I'm just gonna have 2 rivets just like that. And I'll do the same corresponding thing. Just press it down nice and tough into here. And I'm questioning, because once I rivet these on here, I'm questioning what is it going to try to pull through onto. I'm going to add another one of these straps, just a small piece, onto the back of this. So let me cut those out. Okay, so problem solved. Now when the rivet actually tries to pull onto something, it will have a thicker piece of leather to actually like grapple onto, rather than this thin leather, which when I look at it, okay, it's about the same length, or it's about the same thickness. I'm not sure the ounces of how thick this is, but I now have these pieces. Set those there. So now let's cut these holes and use the rivet just to push it through, and perfect. Here's the second one. Perfect. Now just to do this 2 more times. It's another one.
And now the final one is complete. Now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to add some holes to all of these pieces. So, let's do that. Okay, so now that all of these different pieces are done, I'm just going to set these aside right here. And now I have to make all these corresponding holes with all these straps. This might be a pain. That's another one. And ow, I pricked myself. Another one. Let's just double check these. That's one. And that's a two. Now that we've gotten both those holes done and put in there, something I'd like to finish up is these edges right here. As you can see, there are these small bits right here. My favorite way to deal with these is to do this. Remember, I am a trained professional. Never do this at home. Just like that. If you just put them out just like that, but I pinched them because the fire is too small to actually catch anything on fire that is important. Once again, I strongly encourage nobody else to do this. I'm a trained professional. Now for this other side. Just like that. And now, as you can see, there are no more of those stringy loose ends. And now I can finally start attaching. Oh crap, I forgot where I put my rivets. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back, and I did indeed find my rivets. I keep them in this cool 3 printed container, and I can't remember how many I put in here. I believe it's like 120, 130. Either way, there's a lot. There you go. 5 and 6. Now I can start attaching these. Starting with this small one at the top. I gotta make sure to here. Is there a way to zoom? There we go. Wish I knew about that sooner. But watch, I'm just gonna go like this and individually put each piece on. That piece. And now this piece. Right through there. And now this last piece. Once it goes on. There we go, just like that. Sort of like an Oreo cookie, but made of leather. And now I can finish if it will let me. It's not making the clicking noise, so it means it hasn't popped out yet. Yep, sure enough, it's still attached, and it's just not letting me pull the rivet gun away. There we go. It's clicked. That noise that's normally bad is actually good, because when I open these back up, this little piece actually falls out, and it looks just like this. And now take two, except for much closer. First piece there, second piece right there, third piece just like button right on there. Now just to feed this in and get this popped in. That's 3. Nice and quick. Bravo, and there we go. Just like that, these are all both securely attached. So now we've got the arm piece for the arm guard. And just pop this thing right out. There we go, just like this. Now for the next one. You can see right there, the arm guard is now finished. There are these small bits right here, which I'm going to take a hammer and hit really, really hard, but ignoring that part. If I get here, let me just zoop. There we go. I zoom out just like that. Put this right here, and better yet, I think it's going to be better if I just better and quicker if I just feed these in manually just like that. That's 1. This is about to be 2. Now just zoom back into original video. This is now 3. Just push through like that. Pop this in through here. If I can even do it. There. Give myself some extra slack. And now just like that. I can tighten these. I might need to get in some help to actually tighten these. However, I call that a fairly successful arm guard if I do say so myself. Now this part is the part that's going to be visible, meaning it's going to be right here on the inside of my forearm. This back part, you've seen the other part, I'm actually going to add on top. How I'm going to do that is the only part I need to plan out how to do. As I do my projects, I sort of go with the flow.